The Team Never Quit podcast is proudly sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union. If you're overwhelmed by shopping for a new home, Navy Federal's new home buying center has every solution that you need. Go check out NavyFederal.org for more information. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Team Never Quit podcast. As always, thank you guys for listening and watching, and please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button wherever you get your show. So today, before we get to our special guest, let's kick it off with our weekly Patreon question. This week, we have got, if you could go back and relive any day of your life, which day would it be?
Oof. That's a pretty good question, actually. Tough, but
I would definitely, without a doubt, go back to LSU National Championship.
oh, yeah.
Of course,
Oh,
you
God.
won.
Whooping up on Clemson. That was the greatest day of my life. No doubt about it.
Yeah. I remember what I was when that happened, too. I remember that. Well, yeah.
Probably our wedding day.
Ooh, good answer.
I loved our wedding day.
Shit. Where do I go with that?
Yeah, follow that.
Honeymoon?
It doesn't have to be anything about us. I mean, you've had a fruitful life, so. But I loved our wedding day. I think that was the best day. I'd want to relive that. And I would have been more prepared for the cold.
Shit, I was freezing my baby.
We had no idea. The temperature did like a major whack swing. It was like 70s all day, and then it dropped to the 30s like at the time of ceremony.
No, I would have quit.
That
I would have
lightning when you walk
DOR'd.
outside.
I would have
Yeah,
rung the
man.
bell. I can't do cold.
Yeah, it was a big switch, and nobody was prepared for it, but it ended up being great.
What about you?
I think mine would be almost any day on family vacation road trips with mom, dad, and brother.
Yeah.
It was just, we lived in Germany. My dad was stationed there, and we just drive around and see castles and stuff. It was cool.
That
It was
is
really
really
cool.
cool.
It was awesome.
I love that.
I'll never forget the day I graduated Buzz. That was a big,
Oh, yeah.
and the Trident, when I got my Trident. The wedding day thing, obviously,
That was fun. You had hives.
my wedding day was rough.
You had
I broke
hives?
out in hives.
Yeah.
I never had those.
I don't know,
what
man.
they were.
We got rule of three happening. You got the weather
I
change.
know, yeah,
you got the highs.
Man, exactly. And then it got freaking cold, like hell froze over.
Dude.
So we definitely were going through a transition period.
Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah, probably when I graduated Buzz had to be.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yep.
Good Patreon question.
All right, man. Thanks for coming in here.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Let's. I always like to find out where everyone comes from at first. So,
Yeah.
where were you born?
I was born in the Big Pink Air Force Hospital on Honolulu, Hawaii.
Are you kidding me?
Tripler? Yeah, my dad was in the Army station. there.
Crippler.
Yeah.
Bro, I spent some time in there, man.
Oh, yeah. I spent probably like 2 days in there.
How about that place? I mean, you would talk about if you're not from the island and you've never seen something like that, when you roll past it, because it's pink, huge,
It's
like
weird. I was like, what is
castle
this?
up on the
What is
hill,
this
right?
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking trip. You were born. So, what was your dad?
Army HVAC.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Right on. What about your mom?
Preschool teacher.
Siblings?
One.
Male or female?
Younger brother.
What does he do?
He was in SWIC before. And now
Oh, yeah?
he's doing all the UUVs, unmanned underwater vehicles.
Oh, how cool.
That.
Doing some cool stuff.
I was about to say that thing's taken off.
Doing some cool stuff that
Once
I'm allowed to know.
yeah,
Top
right?
side stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, don't tell me anything I don't even want to know.
Once the war shifted, that thing took some real focus. Real cool.
Oh, yeah. Very cool stuff.
So you grew up an Army brat,
Yep.
just bouncing around.
We did, people from the teams, they'll see your first 3 of your social, and I happened to check into team 5 with like 4 dudes from Hawaii, and they're like, oh, what up, brother? And I'm like, hey, I was there for like a year. When I was born, I don't know what you're saying. But we went from Hawaii to Arizona to Germany to Northern California.
Oh wow, you grew up a brat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, full on.
Was he still running when you went in to the teams? Was your dad still in?
My dad got out when I was 12.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I think his MOS was going away, and they're like, half of you will make it, half of you won't. And if half of you guys volunteer and leave, we'll give you a little exit bonus. And he's like, I'll go spend time with my family.
So what do you think about you being a SEAL? And where'd you come up with that idea, by the way? I always love asking the guys. I'm like, how'd that even get to you?
So I played high school football, and where I was from, it was borderline religion, like very much how it is here in Texas. And I was super good. And I was like slated to you're going to go be D1, you're going to go play ball. And I said, you know what? I'm tired. I want to run cross country. And that's when someone showed me the VHS tape of Navy SEALs and how hard the training was.
I got one right over there.
Yeah, it had the voiceover about the kill-death ratio in Vietnam, all this shit. And I was like, what? This is cool. And what got me is they interviewed one operator, and he goes, hey, what makes you guys so good? And the team guy responded, he goes, it's not that we're that good, it's just that everybody else just sucks.
Everybody else sucks.
Like, yep, so where do I sign? Let's go.
I'll never forget when he said that.
Oh, so you've seen
They had him blacked out. Remember,
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of sitting there, and you could just see his shadow.
Yeah.
He's like, shit, man, we're not that good. Everyone else sucks. I remember that. I think it changed my life. Actually, I got that tingle you get when
I'm
you're
getting it right now.
freaking.
Yeah. I was like, give me a pen. I was 17, though. So I had mom and dad have to come and delay the entry program.
Where were you living? Take us back to there. Where were you living after your dad retired from the military?
So small town called Galt, California, just north of Lodi, south of Sacramento. And I ran cross country that 1 year, and that's when I saw the video.
Mm-hmm.
And the next week, I was over at the recruiting office, and I got the Bud's warning order package with the little printed.
I'll never forget that thing.
The little
It's like
Sammy
your
the
first
Seal,
classified
Freddie the
document.
Front. Yep.
It came in that folder.
Yeah. It was
had
like spiral. I was like, oh, I'm in the military. Like, this is the real.
I felt like I was a Navy SEAL.
oh,
when
bro,
they
I
gave
was
it to me.
there, dude.
That got me just like that as well.
Dude, I was like, I need to go buy some bumper stickers and some
Everything.
hoodies. I'm in, dude. I am in.
I went back and watched the documentary 4 more times.
Oh yeah, I was right there with you.
It's freaking great, man. I'll never forget that. The longer you're out, the harder that hits.
You know what
I'm talking about? Like,
I'm getting choked up.
So at 17, were you allowed to go in? Did your parents have to sign for you?
So
or what?
I pleaded with mom and dad to sign delayed entry. They said under one condition, you're going to the Sacramento State football camp because just go see. Did it, came back, still want to do it. Recruiter came over, did all the paperwork. And doing the delayed entry was kind of almost like an insurance against myself too, because I didn't want to get sucked into a senior trip. Let's take a year off. And I was like, nope, I'm going to graduate. 1 week later, go. And that's what happened.
So I don't think I've ever asked this question on the podcast. Does a recruiter actually come to your house?
He did.
Again.
He did to get my parents' signature
Okay.
because I was 17.
Did your recruiter?
I had the best recruiter. I was a SEAL.
Oh, no shit.
Bolt Walsh was his name.
That's awesome.
He was. He spent more time with us, man. He would come pick us up out of school, take us to go play golf as a recruting thing.
I love
And
that.
we were going. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we were absolutely going in there. And then he had a SEAL PT. He would come work out with us. I'll never forget. He's not that big. When he showed up, my brother saw him first. And then I went in there, took a look at him. I was like, he doesn't look like much. He kicked our ass.
Bro.
I mean, this somebody swam at least 100 meters underwater, just on one breath hold, came up and then ran 50 miles. Like it was nothing. Like a damn gazelle. It was the most impressive thing to see him turn that on.
That's awesome.
He beat our asses. I still have buddies with him.
No, no shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He did a stretch at NASA. You know, we got some guys everywhere, man. But
So
he's
yeah.
freaking great
Did
dude.
you have your recruiter came to your house, but did you have to do the SEAL PT?
Yeah, I did all the
Okay.
things. And I was a triathlete and cross-country runner. And I had my dad had bought me the power tower. It's a freestanding pull-up bar with the dips on the other side.
Right.
You know,
Which
like,
one is that, man?
Yeah.
yeah, so just worked out. And, you know, I think the kids these days now, like, they have, like, beating buds and all these books and stuff. We had the Bud's warning orders, like, be good at running, be good at swimming, do a bunch of pull. So in our time, I just trained to infinity because I didn't know.
There was a lot of stuff in there, but it was still vague enough to where your imagination could take over.
Exactly. And you never got a warm and fuzzy,
You
like,
never-
I did enough.
right. Like the videos everyone has on there, it kind of puts that image in your head. We didn't have that. You had to come up with your own thing.
Yeah.
And it was just, how long did you train before you?
Oh, I mean, from 16 till I joined the military.
For a year or
18,
so, just a
year
year?
and a half, yeah.
When did you show up? What class were you?
244.
And that's a winter or summer?
January, Hell Week.
Oh, that's a benefit one.
Because you're doing decon.
244. Did you guys have a guy die in Hell Week?
No. I think he was
He's before you? Or
before
after?
Yeah.
It was around then, I remember.
Yeah.
I know some guys.
Oh, because we had a guy in a dive tower
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It happens, man. Our guys die going through training. So what was your hardest thing in Buds when you showed up? Like what got you off guard?
Dealing with officers, not that I'm insubordinate, but I remember one time the officer of the class was like, "Hey, go see if that guy's awake." And I was like, "I already did. I told you he's not fucking there." And an instructor heard me,
Oh.
and the officer's face just went like, he's a kid from the academy.
Yeah.
He's never had anyone talk to him like that. And
Oh my
instructor
gosh.
pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey, man, you cannot talk to O's like that." And I was like, I didn't even see his rank because it was 250 kids in doc. I didn't know, and I was just like pissed. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm still in the Navy. Like you're in Bud, but you're still in the Navy."
Yeah, but there's no. I didn't know. That same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
I was the first officer I ran to was in Bud. I didn't know how to treat them.
No.
I mean, I knew what they were, but when you actually see one, and they're real old. What are they? 24.
Yeah, and I'm 18. I'm
They're
baby.
ancient, dude. And
Yeah.
we're 17, and I'd never seen one either.
Yeah.
I
was
forgot
it.
about that.
I mean, the buds part, I think the daily grind, because I was a runner and a swimmer and I hate being cold, but like it was uncomfortable. Right? The run times, you don't have to be a collegiate runner or swim, but like just knowing that you're going to keep doing it every morning, wake up, you're going to fail every room inspection no matter what you do. It's like, fuck, but you can't not try and be a turd. Like, it's like, God damn, like
That's how they get you.
yeah, they make you believe.
That's the best way to say that. So there's a middle thing that we don't talk about. It's not in the books or the documentaries. It's like you sign up knowing you're going to fail all the time. So naturally you'd want to be a shitbag. But if you do that,
Well, then you're a shitbag.
Then you're a shitbag.
Then you're a shitbag.
and that's worse.
That's worse.
And I mean,
exactly.
and you want to talk about putting out as hard. I'm talking about as hard as you can, as hard as you freaking can to get something done right, knowing it doesn't matter.
You're gonna get beat for hours.
You're gonna get beat for hours.
For hours. You're gonna come upper deck your room,
Dude.
but you can't not do it. You have to do it.
It's kind of like living. I mean, that's like being married. Your wife is.
I would have never put those two. I'd have never said that out loud, first of all. But I appreciate you opening the door for that, honey. I mean, I really do.
It's true.
Oh,
Like you
man.
still
Just
have
a look
to
on my
love-
face when you said that.
You still have to love me, but I am gonna leave my shoes out in the living room. I am going to do things that annoy you, but you still have to
Pick them up. I know, I do.
Yeah.
That's what Bud's training taught me. He's like, train me for marriage. He's like, hey, look, man, when you get married, no matter what the hell you do,
Can't
you understand
win.
me? Can't win.
But you
at
can't
all.
not try.
Can't not try.
You gotta try.
Write that down. Dude.
Write it
That's a
down.
Freaking book. There's another book right
Let's
there.
do it. Let's collab.
And-
Let's do one.
something that we kind of discovered in our first couple of weeks of being married is that your wife is your swim buddy
Yeah.
for life. Like your swim buddies for life, and you have to treat each other like that.
Constant updates,
Yeah,
like the Weather Channel.
yeah.
I can
You
see that.
definitely work
Yeah.
some kinks out with your swim buddy in first phase.
Oh.
When the pressure and pain's on.
Oh yeah.
You know, remember when the first time you ever got in an argument with him? I do. I'll never forget
Oh
that.
man.
Like, we need to straighten some shit
So
out.
I didn't get along the best with mine. Great dude. But I couldn't like talk shit to him because I can't guide for shit swimming.
Oh, really?
So I really leaned on him to guide.
Yeah.
And I couldn't call him out on other shit because I really needed him for the swims.
Bro, that's the same way, opposite.
Okay.
I had a guy had to help me through the runs. He was a freaking thoroughbred. I had busted up my leg so bad, man, and he couldn't guide either. I mean, he
Same.
could almost swim in circles. It was unbelievable.
Good thing me and him never met in the ocean.
Right? You wouldn't go anywhere. I mean, so when they put us together, it was an offset. I would thank him. I was like, hey, bro, thank you so much for getting me through that damn run, dude. Thank you so much. And he's like, don't worry, tomorrow's a swim.
Don't worry, I know you're. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
tomorrow's a
I know.
swim.
We got to swim tomorrow.
And we finished together. We absolutely
Awesome.
did that together.
He ended up moving out here. He lived right down the street.
Oh, that's
he
cool.
Passed away, but
Oh, well, not cool.
Yeah, but
Our guys
great
died now.
relationship. I
Yeah,
realized
true.
that though, like when we first got married, like we are now swim buddies, and that's a perfect way for team guys to look at their wives and that grind.
I like that.
Sometimes there's shit that you don't want to do, and they pick up the slack, and then
I took it a step further. I was like, not only does she swim buddy, she outranks me.
Oh,
Yeah, so I can't forcefully throw like some verbiage out.
like this is what we're doing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's more of a, hey, what do you
send
think?
it up the chain of command?
Up the chain of command, see if it comes
here's my
back
con
down.
op.
And then if I get pissed, I leave. And I'll go scream out in the gym and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like every other team guy's supposed to
Take
do.
it offline.
When the brass yells at you.
If you're somebody who thrives on getting things done, especially workouts, well, Tonal is a must-have. It's the smart strength training system that takes on the guesswork out of working out. We actually just got ours installed yesterday, and I could not wait to use it. You literally just walk up, select a workout, and Tonal does everything for you. It sets the weights, tracks your reps, and even gives you feedback. It's like having a personal trainer minus all the awkward small talk. You can choose from thousands of workouts, strength training, cardio, and even yoga, all in one sleek touchscreen machine. And the best part, Tonal's digital weights automatically adjust as you get stronger. It learns from your movements and optimizes each workout so you can hit your goals faster. No more sweaty commutes or waiting for gym equipment. With Tonal, your workout is ready when you are. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off with promo code TNQ. Just go to tonal.com and enter code TNQ for $200 off. That's tonal.com with promo code TNQ.
So when you went into Buds, what was your designation or whatever? What did you want to do?
So when I went, I know it's constantly changing. My recruiter was trying to do his recruiter thing, was very cool, but not as cool as yours. He was like, hey, these are the Navy SEAL approved jobs, A schools. He's like, gunner's mate, it's guns. I'm like, oh, that's cool. How long is it? He's like, 6 months. I'm like, okay, which one's the shortest? So I picked parachute rigger, aircrew survival equipment men in Pensacola, Florida. 4 weeks of sewing.
When someone
4 weeks of sewing.
That's it. When they would say that out loud, you knew exactly what that meant. Like, yeah, he wanted to get here fast.
Yep.
Oh my god.
4 weeks in, and I'd never been to Florida, so I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be in Miami. It's gonna be crazy. And Pensacola is not Miami.
No.
At all.
But it's pretty.
It was pretty. It was cool.
Yeah.
So did that, and never became a parachute rigger in real life. So yeah.
Oh my
They ever
god.
make you sew when you were in?
Oh my god.
All the time. Yeah,
Oh my god. Especially before like London Bridge and
All that
Cry
stuff
and all
came
that
out,
stuff.
yeah.
It was like, you know how to sew? I'm like, yeah. Like, oh, dude, I'm like, bro, I'm here for like 16 hours in the airlock. I'm gonna sew, and I would, right? New guy, team player.
Like what you had a sewing machine.
The airlock.
Yeah, we
They
got
had
them
the
at
team.
we have a bunch of them at this, where we drive and hang our parachutes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's cool. I mean, if you're into it, I got kind of into it. They had hot knives and webbing of all the buckles. So
It's
back
cool
the
in there,
day,
for
guys
sure,
would
man.
legit make their own like awesome, like better gear than we were getting issued.
That's so cool. Have you
Yeah.
ever made anything?
I've modified some things. By the time I got there was like London Bridge and all the big suppliers with
Do you ever
cool
just
stuff.
lay in bed and think, I could make these pants or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Usually when you're laying out in the field.
Yeah. like,
It's when you're usually operating or afterwards. Is because the smart people, the academics, will invent it and then they'll pass to us. Then we'll road test it and be like, oh, you need something right here. You need to put this right here.
Too heavy.
Too heavy. You
Too
take
much
that
shit.
off.
Too many cables.
Needs to be elastic right here.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Work the kinks out.
100%.
That's so cool. I wish I would have learned how to sew.
It's cool. I'm the man at weddings though, because I do bring my sewing kit, buttons. I got you.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I got one of those handheld little.
Oh, you do?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look
One of the
into that.
infomercials got me. A 3 a.m.
They get me too.
Bro, especially when I first got out. I mean, I got rolled up with the fishing lures, every damn thing you can imagine. Those 3 a.m. infomercials,
Some of them work though.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, some of
hit.
that stuff does work.
Shit. Yeah.
for sure.
Oh my god.
So, what was your first command when you came out?
SEAL Team 5.
I love that team.
It was
Club 5, man.
It was before the new building too.
Yeah,
The Quonset huts in the back.
old UDT buildings.
Ooh, we had a good crew. Tommy Cremens, Kevin,
Love that guy.
Kevin Kent, Tage Gill,
Oh, shit,
Kekoa
man.
Lee.
Those freaking guys, all them guys you just rattled off. Awesome.
And I was the new guy. And they walked in and they go, how much do you weigh? I'm like, $170.
Oh my
They
gosh.
said, you need to change that. I said, okay. Hitting the gym.
And you normally do when they say it.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
them-
well,
when- especially those three.
It wasn't a question.
But do they help you? Or do they just tell you to do it?
With corrective behavior modifiers, yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
God, that was on my first deployment with all them, man. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I checked in and they had just gotten back from
Baghdad.
Yeah, that they just got
I was with
back.
them when okay, so that's when you came online.
Yes.
Roger that.
And they're
All right, that
just
makes
like,
sense.
what's up, new guy? I was like, oh shit. But it was an awesome platoon. We did.
It was. It was
we
the
got-
craziest deployment. Them guys, that deployment, because it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
In Baghdad. Down
Mm-hmm.
freaking town.
I mean, we ended up getting disbanded right before we had to deploy. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
I remember
it
that.
was wild
Y'all sure did.
Wild times.
You sure did.
For-
We won't even talk about that.
We won't even talk
We
about
won't
it.
talk about it. Yeah. Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
All right. Where'd you go after 5?
After
Yeah. After Team 5?
I did 2 pumps there and screened, and now checked into Red Squadron.
How long did you do at Red?
4 or 5 years.
And then where?
And then I came back and taught SQT at CQ. Taught CQC at SQT.
So you
Yeah.
did instructor staff.
And you know what? That was probably the most humbling experience in the world.
I never got a chance to do it.
Awesome.
And I always thought like guys, because the guys who brought me up, they're like, hey, go into your teams, do your new guy, do your 1 platoon wonder, get your 3 pump chump. After 4, come back, step your ass into the training grounds, give it back, get educated, get cool again, kind of.
Yeah.
I never got a chance to do it though, man. It was worth it though, yeah.
It was really cool because I was a young hotshot guy. I was at the squadron, and it's like, Dan, you're so good, you're so cool, whatever. And you hear that, and it's nice, but nothing has ever compared when I've had a platoon OIC, LPO, or chief come up and be like, hey, these kids you put through CQC, they're awesome. Like, you did a really good job. Like that,
Yeah.
I would take over anything saying, oh, Dan, you're so cool at your job as an operator. But as a teacher, like that feeling is tenfold.
It's like a parent being complimented on their
Yeah,
kid.
my babies.
Yeah.
I want to change my Patreon question answer. It was the first time somebody complimented me on my kid.
Yeah. That's the same as what you're talking about.
Same thing imagine with team guys. Team guys don't compliment anybody.
Fuck
Yeah.
no.
Them some bitches, and if they do, it's still an insult, man. Like they will hit you in the heart.
Yeah.
We're great at that. I
yeah.
freaking love it, man.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's an art.
Yeah. So for another grown ass team guy to come up and say, hey, man, you're good.
They're
You did a
squared
good
away.
job because
Yeah.
of you. Like, that takes a lot.
Freaking lot, man.
And I'm like,
Because that means they got to go out of their
thank
way.
you so much. Like, I need a minute. I
Yeah.
need a minute. I need a minute. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
What
Yeah. Just make me feel all weird.
Man.
when you were teaching those guys, what Bud's class number were they?
Oh, God, I can't remember.
You can't remember them.
I remember the first day I checked in, straight from the squadron, guy up in the rafters, like, Instructor Corbett, you're going to demo for the kids. Go in, don't say a word, do my scans, move off the wall, clear, all clear. And then he said, everyone up in the rafters, do not do anything Instructor Corbett just did.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I realized I had been at Dev Group and doing, like, pushing the limits of flowing and just nonverbal communication. It's like a giant deadly ballet. And then I'm teaching these kids who don't even know how far into the room to go.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I need to break it all the way down. For the next month, I just followed around all the instructors and took notes, like, oh, points performance,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
That's the best piece of advice you could give anybody getting out of the teams too. Hey, I know not only do you know it, you know a lot more, and you've taken it as far as any human being could possibly take it. But guess what? You just drop back to the back of the line with everybody. They don't know shit.
Now what? How do you talk
Yeah,
to
so
them?
then you got to go back to the basics.
How do you convey that message?
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yep.
You got to relearn how. You got to learn how to speak your language in the new stuff, man. It's difficult to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
thought about it till you said it, but
Because you were at like the absolute tip of the spear and had forgotten how to be on their level,
Yeah.
the very
Yeah.
beginners.
not saying their level's bad either.
No, because
Not-
I was,
it's not
we were all
yeah,
there.
man, we started there.
Yeah, and that's when I coined this term. I was like, falsely intuitive. It's like, oh, everyone knows that. Well, that's not true. Just because I don't remember being taught it is why I feel that way.
Shit, it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
was taught it.
Yeah.
It wasn't intuitive for me. Someone taught me.
Yeah,
Took the
so-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you recognized that and brought it back and were able to actually teach the guys in such a way that they came out squared away.
Hey man, when you see it turn on, like especially in action, that's the impressive part.
Yeah, when you see the light bulb go off,
Man,
you're like, he gets it. Oh, he's going to be a problem. I'm glad he's on our team.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know we have a lot to talk about with not that much time, but you wrote this book.
I did.
American Mercenary.
Yes.
Can you tell us about like the bulk of what it's about and some of those extreme mission sets that you did?
More or less, yes.
Yeah.
So the book is pretty much post-SEAL teams kind of floundering. What do I want to do? Got into contracting and then got really into very dynamic environments in contracting.
It's easy for guys to do that, isn't it?
It's easy because it's there. And
I don't mean easy job. I mean easy to get pulled into it.
It's cool. You're not doing the 9 to 5, which nothing wrong with it. Just not for me. The money was good. It was exciting. Critical thinking, problem solving. That's all it is. And
can you explain what contracting is
Yes.
to our listeners?
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody knows what that is going out of the team.
You have this big companies that will take a lot of ex-special forces, ex-military, and they'll do anything from static security on one of the bases to designated marksman for defense of the bases to personal protection, mobile security for 3 letters. That'd be like your standard contractor. When I got out, I went right into escorting cargo ships after they go through the Suez Canal. Good money, but just like any contracting job, after a year or two, goes up, renegotiations. The big company wants to stay, competitive, so they got to cut their prices. So I did that for a while, and then I got a phone call to go do some more.
What's that like? Just being on a boat? What's that? I'm sorry, man. I know a lot of guys that did that, man. I'm just curious because we avoided being put on a ship
so much in the SEAL teams.
In the SEAL teams, like it was the plague.
So good on you for doing that. It was the most lonely and small and lost I ever felt in my entire life. When you look out on the bridge wing and it's just like nothing. There's nothing. And you're on this massive ship. You're like, what am I doing here? Like, yeah, the money's good and stuff, but I was gone more than when I was in the teams. It's not like I had a family to be back, but I was like, I still had a life. You know what I mean?
Are you the only?
No, there was 3 other guys on the contract I was on, but like you're doing rotations. So
you're not even together.
No, you're sleeping.
Yeah,
one guy does 6 hours. The next guy does 6 hours, 6, and you rotate. So I was like, man, it's not the same when you're hanging out with your boys and
it's not
camaraderie. You're by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was a new guy. So I
don't think that's a good place for an operator. For SF guys?
No, it was
That's not a good place for us, man.
But the credentials look cool, right? Anti-piracy, Navy SEAL.
They're great. That's the sexiest shit you ever. Man, that's a great qual to get. It's just hard.
For 3 guys, what would you do if pirates did roll up on you?
Get on the bridge wing and take your iron sight M4s and try your best. I mean, I think there's a couple of videos online of some and they thwarted an attack. So
there have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They wouldn't need those guys on there if it wasn't an issue.
So was this?
And the fact that civilians know that they're on there now means it was a real big issue.
Exactly.
But was this post? What was that movie?
This is post Captain Phillips.
Yeah, Captain Phillips. Yeah. Okay. So this 100%. Is afterwards, and the big companies that are bringing these ships through are like, well, we're just going to have the Navy SEALs on our boats instead of having to come in and rescue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Job opportunity for sure, man.
Yeah. So did that. Got a phone call. Did some more dynamic stuff. The contracting, when you start getting into the smaller groups and you start to become the prime, which is the point of contact for the actual contract, you start to see all the political power plays. Everyone's got their hands in the pot. People are involved that you would have no idea. People are talking to each other, not communicating. It's pretty wild. Did that. And then I took a really easy job in Belgrade, Serbia, and through a series of unfortunate events. I got wrapped up. Didn't think anything of it. I didn't do anything.
What would they say you did?
They said they didn't know. I wasn't charged until 11 months after being held in the prison system.
Where'd they snatch you up at?
Yeah, how did
a residence?
So
Yeah.
you're just at a house.
At a house. Kid comes back. He's in handcuffs. I look up. 21-year-old kid with a gun pointed at my head. Terrified. I can hear the magazine spring shaking, rattling with his finger on the trigger. And I'm like, oh man, after all the stuff I've done, not like this.
What were you doing there?
Just getting intel on somebody, taking pictures, following around. Like seriously, it's literally nothing illegal. Searched the house. They asked me all these questions in Serbian, which I did not speak at the time. And I'm answering in English, like, American? What are you doing here? Very interesting. It was an election year in that country, and I didn't know how political it'd get, and it got very political. Figured I'd be questioned for a couple days. That question.
Well, they just snatch you out and take you to the jail?
Take you to jail. Straight to jail. All right. We don't know. After 3 days of interrogation, went to a little like municipal court, made a statement. There's 2 other kids along with the guy's house I was at. So there's 4 people, and they're like, ooh, 3 or more organized crime. So now they're like just going crazy.
If you've been enjoying our episodes, then you have to check this one out. Some stories aren't just told, but they're really felt. In this powerful episode of Nothing Left Unsaid, NFL legend and best-selling author Tim Green, battling ALS, joins his son Troy for a conversation that really hits deep. They're joined by Tu Lam, former Green Beret and founder of Ronin Tactics. Tu's story is remarkable. From escaping war-torn Vietnam to leading special forces missions, all guided by the warrior code of Bushido, honor, discipline, and resilience. Together, they dive into what this means to persevere through life's toughest challenges, both in a battle and in life. This episode is raw, it's powerful, and unforgettable. If you're seeking true inspiration, I wouldn't miss this one. Search for Nothing Left Unsaid on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube.
And when I was being interrogated, I'll call him the good cop. He's like, oh, you're not CIA, you're not DA, you're not here to kill the president. I'm like, no, what? What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
Then he closed the door. He's like, I believe you. Really? But like, stand by. Stand the fuck by. He's like, the media already has this. Went to the jail after 4 days of being interrogated. And I'm like, I'm going to be the gray man. I'm going to be chill, me low under the radar. I walk in, I'm getting saluted by the guards. I'm being saluted by prisoners. Walk in my first prison cell. They turn on the TV. There's like a generic picture of an operator and my name across the bottom. And I was like, what is going on? The newspapers had beat me to the jail saying I was there to kill the Serbian president.
Oh my God.
Come to find out, everybody in Serbia, especially in prison, especially government employees, hates the Serbian president. So when I walked in, I was like hailed as this hero. Yeah, it was insane.
So in the meantime, are you texting whoever hired you saying what
Texting?
the F or whatever?
Texting?
Can you call them and be like,
They took my
I'm in
shoelaces.
jail.
You think I had a phone?
Oh my
They took
gosh.
everything.
So you never even got to give any heads up to
No.
whoever
No,
hired you for this?
No America, no phone call, nothing.
Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
God damn, bro, what was that even feeling like? What's that even feel like?
I understand that I'm an interesting dude to certain countries, right? Like if you or I went to some random country and like, yeah, come here, you're gonna get extra. Okay, I get it, right? I thought it was just gonna be that, and then I'm like, wait, I'm in jail. All right, this is gonna get worked out. It was. I don't want to say I was delusional, but there was nothing there. So I'm like, okay, I'm in jail. They're going crazy, but once they get to the bottom of it, even if this country is corrupt, you have to have at least something to magnify. But there's nothing. So like in the end, it'll come out. We'll be fine. And I thought the end would be like 2 days, maybe a week. Hey, it's a big misunderstanding. This guy didn't do anything. But I think by month 3, my lawyer came in and was like, hey, this is going to be a long time. I think it'll end well. I'm like, long, like 2 more months. And he just deadpan stared back at me. Kind of like the
State Department guy, Serbian?
No, the State Department guy came in, American dude. He came in with a Serbian national, a woman who worked in Serbia, but at the American embassy. They were assigned to my case, and she was like, I can't believe this is happening to you. I'm so sorry. And the State Department guy was like, oh, man, it's not looking too good. I've seen the newspapers. And
my God.
I'm like, what, dude? Because when you go to SEER school, they teach you like embassy, friend, Red Cross, friend. If you could talk to them, you're on a good path.
Yeah. And
So this guy comes in, I'm like, cool, embassy. And he's like, I don't know. Ooh,
Yeah, because when you're
I'm like, Jesus, bro.
when you're in a spot, you're like, oh, you have this. That's when your complete faith comes in. You're like,
Boom.
help me out. You're gonna send the best of the best, and then the door opens up. You're like, it's just like the movies. It's like, fuck. Did you even go to law school, man?
Yeah.
Are we gonna be all right here?
Yeah, man.
You know,
Are
like
you
my
asking him, like, can I use your phone?
I asked to write letters to my mom on the back of his paper. Like, hey, can I just, he's like, I can't, I'm not allowed. I'm like, you, and put it in your briefcase? Like, no.
Oh my god.
So how long were you in there before you got put out?
I was in there for 11 months. Then I got a judge, started trial at the 12-month mark.
And you didn't speak the language in there.
No, at 12-month mark, I did.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
that.
no, I didn't. No.
In the beginning, though,
No.
right? So it's tough in there.
No, because I was the guy. I was the Don, right? I was the guy to kill the president they all hate. And plus,
That's what they thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and plus everyone there is, so Serbia is a pretty homogeneous country. All the same religion, like white, Anglo-Saxon, whatever you want to call it. And there's 2 mafia drug cartels that are between Serbia and Montenegro. But besides that, there's really no like, oh, I'm from this street, I'm from that. You got some soccer hooligan stuff, but like where I was like, it's called prison, kind of jail prison. Everyone was there waiting for a court. So along with it being pretty homogeneous, that no one there is going to, well, it happened, but no one's going to go stab a dude in the neck and then go to court and be like, oh, see, he doesn't have a violent bone in his body.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of on their best behavior too, kind of a us versus them being the system. And that was the kind of feel. So I did 11 months, 12 months, got my lawyer, stood trial, 6 months of trial.
Was it like in one of those boxes? How they
No,
have
no,
in
no,
Europe, like the clear.
It might as well have been because
box?
I would get wheeled in. They'd get my own paddy wagon in with 5 guards, MP5s on either side. Walk. I mean, it was a show. It was. I'm surprised they didn't do Hannibal Lecter with a face mask. Like they were like,
Should have asked him for that. Though.
yeah, exactly. They were like, oh, this
You know,
guy.
like, hey, if we're gonna go through the motions,
Let's
man,
do it. Let's
just do
go
this
out with
right.
the helicopter overhead.
My boys are gonna love this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, this is for my teammates, man. They're gonna dig the shit out of this.
Nuts.
Yeah, so I did 6 months.
This
Yeah,
whole story.
stood court, and at the end, the lawyers, the judge was like, "Hey, I'm sorry this happened to you. You're free to go." I'm like, "Yeah, me too. Bye."
Thanks, man.
And everyone's like, "Were you so relieved?" I was like, "No, yes and no." But at that time, like, this should have happened over a year ago.
Yeah, like what happened to your rent? Like
Oh.
what was going on?
Oh,
at
we could talk
home?
about that. I came home to $86,000 in debt to the IRS.
Oh,
Credit score at 530 or 580 or some shit. And I was approved for 3 credit cards, each with $300 limits.
oh,
Like the ones with like 48%, like some crazy
Yeah.
shit. But like I had to start over.
The ones they dare you to take.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
No
Here's a
way
credit card. I
to
dare
here
you
you
to
go,
take it.
buddy.
Yeah, I dare you to
touch
take
it, touch it, touch it.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And I got a job like doing some residential security in a nice neighborhood, and like, oh, I got $2,000.
It's like with the 4-door sedan with the blue light on top of it. Like
No.
Not that deep?
Not that deep, but just team
Because
guy.
I see you pulling that off, man.
I could. Yeah.
I think, you know.
I'd probably go a mustache
right after
if I
the, the handlebar one.
Exactly. So I got some cash and I put it in, and it was like instantly out. Collection agencies. I'm like, hey guys, you guys are gonna kill me here. I was in jail. I was acquitted. They're like, oh, we haven't heard that before. After you pay us, bring us the paperwork, and we can refund you. I'm like, what? I'm drowning here. Finally worked it out and got back on my feet. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah. My mom and brother.
I was going to ask you, what kept you going, man?
That's a good question. And you know what it is? And it's very generic and cliche that like love is the antagonist to fear. And it really is. And knowing that I'm so loved by my family and friends, I become fearless. And I'm like, I know I'm loved. And that's really what got me through. And I'm a fighter. Like, fuck these guys. I'm not going to take a deal. I'm not going to take any of the pills they're trying to give me in prison. There's blues, pinks, you name it, whatever you want. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm going to learn the language. I'm going to play chess, and I'm going to win. So having that fighting, problem-solving mindset, along with knowing that I have so much love from my friends and family, is, if anyone has that, you damn near unstoppable, 100%.
That's sweet. I mean, when you know that someone's loving you, they're like that, keeping you
I
on.
can feel it.
Yeah. That's. So what was your mom doing? What did she like? I want to know her story from when she doesn't hear from you for however
She
long.
found out after I was in for 3 months. I was living a crazy life anyways, and we're very close. So I'm like, hey, I'll be out of town. I won't be on my phone. Okay. Someone reached out to her, one of my guys, and was like, hey, starts to get on the news, calling everybody. And the State Department guy called my mom and said, oh no, he's just being questioned. It's like a 5-star hotel. It's not a big deal. This place was built pre-World War II. Bed bugs everywhere. No AC. And I'm like, this guy. Yeah. I did get some notes out to my mom. I said, everything's fine. Don't talk to media. It might be a while, but it's going to be okay. That's it. She goes, okay.
That's a strong mom.
Yeah.
I would have been off the rails.
Yeah.
Like in Serbia. I would have gone to Serbia.
And I told her, don't come. I said, don't come. Because there's no responsible journalism anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
Over there, would have been a parade.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been bananas.
See, Hannah, this is why you don't get held up anywhere, because I would end up ruining everything. It would not have been
Especially
like
trying to
Daniel's
attempt
mom.
assassination of a president.
I
Yeah.
would have assassinated the president and the guards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that's freaking heavy, man.
It was heavy.
That's
It was
so
heavy, and I got
crazy.
back, and
That's having a couple of different guys in our community.
yeah.
Getting wrapped up over there for that.
Like in different countries,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
That's nuts.
some of them is the ones I've heard recently. They fared a little better than me, and they had some evidence against him too. And
Yeah.
they scooped him up in a month or so. Yeah,
That's crazy. A year.
a year and a half, 18 months.
A year and a half.
A year before I got charged, 6 months was court.
And what was the official charge?
The official charge was possession and attempt to sell or buy firearms and explosives. Yeah.
And they had no evidence of this.
They had my DNA that was on a gun in another city.
Oh my gosh. Was it really your DNA on a gun?
Well, yeah, they took as many swabs as they wanted at the jailhouse.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is nuts. Did you have like a mantra that you would say every day, or a prayer or anything that just kind of kept you going day by day?
No, I just was like, man, I better be in shape when I get out of here because I have no excuse.
How long did it take you to pick up the language?
Well, I spoke pretty decent. I was a 2+ speaker in Russian, and Serbian it's its own language, but it has the same Cyrillic alphabet. So making flashcards was easy and stuff. So I picked up Serbian probably pretty solid in 6 months. But I was making flashcards. I had a dictionary.
Cellmate?
3 other cellmates. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you make friends?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
They speak English in there?
A couple of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other Americans in there with you?
There was one dude that was dual citizenship, and they're like, oh, let's put him in the room with me. And at that time, it was just me and him. Everyone had either gone to the other prison or acquitted. And this guy was like 6'3", 180 pounds, toes sticking out of his shoes, black fingertips, black nails, wouldn't shower, would chain smoke and burn the filters, and the room would stink. And I despised him. I hated him. Ugh.
That's probably the worst part.
Yeah.
That was like,
you're in prison, but you got a horrible roommate.
The worst, dude. Right? Because it's not about location, it's about who you're with. Granted, prison's a pretty shitty location, but even that makes it more important to have better like people around you want to talk to and hang out with. This guy wouldn't do anything, and he stunk. He was lazy. It was bad. That was my most trying time. Was when I was with
That's
that
a good
guy.
Lord talking to you right there, man.
Oh yeah.
Square your ass away.
Oh yeah. He
I mean, Serbian prison.
Did you get
That's a long way away, man.
Oh,
from
yeah.
where you're sitting right now.
Oh yeah. Tested to the max for sure with my patients. He eventually got sent to the mental hospitals.
Oh my gosh.
Thank God.
Thank God. The guards,
Hey, guard, man. I don't know. This dude,
He's got to go.
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude and all, but
He's going to leave this cell one of two ways. So,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
Did you get a prison tat?
No. There was my first room I went to. I was in the special terrorist room with some guy, bizarre people, and they'd stay up all night with razor blade and pen ink.
Yeah, old
and they're
school.
like, "Oh yeah, you need to get one." I said, "No, I'm good. I'll pass, bro. I'll pass." And it was like day 3. I'm like, I'm not. It's like easy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is an insane story. So you come home with your life wrecked.
Yeah.
And you eventually get it back together. At what point were you able to actually sit down and write about it? And
did the State Department just bring you back and be like, "Hey, thanks, you're on your way," or is that?
No, when I got out, the Serbian national from the embassy called. "Hi, Daniel. I'm so happy for you. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Do you want to come to the embassy?" I said, "Absolutely not. Why? Do I need to?" "Well, no. Do you have a passport?" "Yep." "Is it expired?" "Nope." "Okay. Sorry this happened to you. Bye." Click. That's it. It was like it didn't happen.
do you know his name?
I do know his name.
I'd be like, I don't know, writing him up for something.
Well, I changed some stuff in the book because legal said it could come off a certain way. So
Shit,
yeah,
man, dude.
I'm beyond. I'm past that. I'm beyond that.
Yeah,
right?
shit, past that, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but there's
Even the guards were like, Foca, Embasada. Foca is my nickname because it means seal, the animal. And you're like, Foca, the embassy's here. You go for sure. 100%. Come back out of the meeting room, like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, it ain't happening. They're like, but America. And I'm like, I was embarrassed because even the guards were like, oh, America, the government's here.
Yeah.
He's going to go. And I was like, nah, man, it ain't like that.
Yeah. He's not a good one.
Yeah, it was sad.
Gosh.
It was sad. I was sad to like be represented that way too, and have even the guards be like, "Oh shit, yeah."
Yeah, you would think they would have some sort of like go home package for you to give to the creditors, to give to the IRS, to give, to all those people. Like, yes, this person has been held up.
No medical, no dental, no sight, no. There's like
that's nuts.
Boop. Yeah.
With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows for others to get rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. But now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash, receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses, and be rewarded with a very handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth individual for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC.
How'd you get squared up with the book? How'd that start?
So I got back. My book agent, Howard Yoon over at WME, called me. He's like, I heard your story. You want to do a book? I said, nope. And I thought I was going to keep, chasing the dragon contracting. But those big jobs, you get maybe 2 calls every 4 years and maybe one of them is real, right? Called back a month later and he goes, hey, let's do it. And I said, okay, let's do it. And did the whole process, held my breath as we submitted it to the Pentagon for review.
Yeah. How about that?
Oof.
I remember that days. Yeah, when that happened.
You do all this work on it and you're like going through it and you're like editing. You're sick of looking at the words. You're sick of looking at the pages. You're sick of reading it. And then you just want it to be done, but it's not done because now it's in someone else's hands. And we got approved like in 4 months. And I was like, okay.
That means it's a good read.
Yeah.
When they pass it up there, because it has to go around through all the chambers. Hey, let's get this in.
So that happened. I'm like, okay, I'm done. We're good. And then like 3 months ago or 2 months ago, we need you in the studio to do the audiobook. And I was like, okay, I'm ready.
Good for you. You did your own audio?
I did.
Hey, nice work.
I did.
That's a good job.
I reached out to some fellow ex-Team Guy authors and I said, hey, they go, do it. You get nothing but good feedback from people who...
I think I might be the only author that didn't. And I get more... Yeah.
Well, they didn't even offer
They didn't offer it back then.
Yeah.
I called because I saw...
I tell all the guys to do that. Make sure you do that.
Yeah. I saw someone who had a book coming out after me from my same publisher in the studio on their social medias. And I said, hey, do I need to do the audiobook? Well, if you want, we have voice actors. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I'm going to do it. And no one likes hearing their own voice that much. And you think...
I can't stand my voice.
I'm saying... I think I'm going to go in there, read the book, and be out. For a 6-hour book, you need about 35 hours of studio time because it has to be just right. The chair creaked or whatever.
Reading out loud.
Oh,
kicks people's ass. That's why you make your kids do it when they're young. One page a night.
Yeah, some character.
Because everyone's like, "Hey, do you read?" Yeah. Really? Read that out loud.
Here you go, Jimmy.
Let me hear you read. Yeah. It's kind of. That's the funniest thing, man.
We got in a flow. We had a good producer and director. So there was a sound guy next to me and another guy who zoomed in from Brooklyn, I think. And we just hit it hard 5 days in a row. Boom, boom, boom.
How'd you get your publishing house? Your publishing house.
What about him?
Who are you with?
Hachette.
Yeah. How'd you get linked up with them?
Dude, my agent at WME, Howard Yoon, is a monster.
Is he good?
He's a monster.
Mine passed away.
Oh, man.
He was a badass. I mean, loved that. I'm glad you got a good one.
Yeah.
When you get a good literary agent, I mean, when they love being literary agents.
Oh, he like
loves it, right?
Like people who are like being defense lawyers. He's like, no, we're gonna get this.
Those kind of guys.
It's that like no. Like they like getting the best deal in this, and he's awesome.
And you said you didn't get to go to New York and do the tour around in your Navy uniform.
I wanted to do the whole thing. Everyone told me how fun it was.
It was so much fun.
Oh man.
It was the first time I ever had my dress blues on up there in New York City, walking around the streets, hitting all the publishing houses. Awesome. New York can turn it on, man.
Red carpet?
They can freaking turn it on.
Rolled it out
when they want to. Yeah.
Oof.
It was just like we were talking about earlier. I wish I could have slowed it down to remember it, all of it. The smells, when you walk in those literary houses and they smell like books.
No, I don't know.
No, that's right, you don't.
I don't know.
So I'm going to rub it in a little bit more. And so I was like, man, there's something to that. And they're all in there waiting on you. They're in their desks, and then the editor's in there. Then the president, he comes. He looks like he needs to have that job. I mean, it was something.
That's cool.
It was really back. I wish they wouldn't have got rid of that, because I was in the transition when ebooks were coming online. I thought that wasn't even a thing. And then I remember when they were like, maybe we'll try putting in an ebook, and I was like, I don't even know what the hell that is.
Your book has been out for a long time, babe.
I'm old. I'm just saying. I'm just
a very long time.
I'm excited for you, man. This whole
it's very exciting.
Bro, you'll go into cities. I'm sorry.
Just the TV part too. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Can't go into too much detail because we're still working everything out. But one of the big studios has already optioned the rights to the book, and we're getting everything lined up as we speak. And the people that I'm working with right now are fantastic. And if this goes all the way through, I'll be very happy with where I landed.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. This is a really exciting place to be for a team guy, when you have a bridge between the literary world and the TV and the movie world. Because when they meet up and they just kind of passing you back and forth, it is an absolute magnificent place to live. And when you get to see them doing their thing and they're doing it for you,
that's crazy.
Right? Oh, it's the best.
That's wild.
I mean, you want to talk about watching the movie gives you chill bumps, man. When you watch them do that, it's awesome. Oh, yeah, it's something.
It's already a little wild when I've had Zoom meetings with the people in the studio we're talking with, and they're talking about the character for the show, but they're using, my nickname and stuff. I'm like, wait, like you guys, like, it's weird to have them talk about you or a character of you.
It removes you into like that fourth dimension. Yeah, man.
And I'm like, hey, I'm right here, guys. Yeah, it's wild.
That is when they fourth dimension you, because they're talking about a dude playing you, talking to him while you're standing there, kind of like.
I'm like, what? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
It is.
It's weird.
So much fun though.
What's your main, like, when people watch the show, what do you want them to get out of it?
The humanity. I want the connection with the audience. Same with my book. I'm not a super tough, hardcore guy all the time, but I have him in my back pocket when I need him. And you don't have to be that way every second of your life. It'd be exhausting, right? And just the reality of it. We want to take the genre and kind of break it a little bit and just show the guy who's a normal guy that just likes to do this or got painted in this corner and that's all he can do, and is good at it.
Yeah.
If you took our titles away from us, like take Team Guy out of that, and just like, hey man, look at the freaking adventures that guy's been on.
Yeah, that's
like a Huck Finn. I mean, just saddled up one day, left the house, and he's been anywhere from prison, overseas. That, bro, you know as well as I do. When we're older, and you sit down around a table, and it's not necessarily when you say it; it's when I tell somebody the story. It's like,
with someone else.
Some bitch right here was in freaking prison, Serbia, for 11 months, dude.
18 months.
18 months. Excuse me, just that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That whole gambit that you're playing is. Well, how about that? I mean, look at how old you are, and they're already making movies about you. That says a lot, man.
Yeah.
That you're living a life worth living.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure just like you, it wasn't planned. I just wanted to go.
No, just living life.
Yeah. I just wanted to go be in the military and be with some awesome dudes and smash some idiots,
Mm-hmm.
Here I am.
That's exactly why I signed up.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, we're happy for you, and I need to get the book. We don't even have the book. So
well,
brought the book. Yay.
Where can everybody go to find out?
So I'm
about
on
this. What's can we help in any way?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at American_mercenary. The book can be found on Amazon, or you can go to Hachette Book Group and it'll give you a bunch of different options to buy it from: Target, Walmart, Books A Million, wherever. Barnes & Noble. Some stores, Barnes & Noble has it, but Amazon is probably your safest bet.
Awesome. We'll order a bunch for our Patreon listeners. For the last 4 months, the highest tier of Patreon, I'm actually mailing, if our guest has a book, I'm buying enough to ship out to our Patreon subscribers. So
all you Patreon guys, up your tiers. More books.
Yes. And
it's winter time, get ready to read.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting for our Patreon subscribers. They get your book.
That's exciting for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll order it.
I would ask you what's next, man, but this part takes a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. You throw your focus into it and make sure that there's not a lot of other stuff. I think there's just so much in there.
Yeah, I'm trying.
That's the thing, man. There's just so much
now.
in there. I had help. God, that was the thing. I was like, I had the Navy. They sent me help left and right. So if you need help, holler out.
Will do.
Because guys will just show up, man. We're at a point now. We got guys that are so rich they just sit around the house doing nothing. They're bored.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, let's go do something. Let's just go do something.
Let's go do something. Let's start a business.
Start a business, whatever.
Let's buy a boat.
Can't believe it. Our guys will get into anything.
You buy a boat and invite us.
Perfect.
Crew it with a bunch of retired SEALs, Hawaiian shirts.
We'll see if it leaves. We'll see if we can leave the dock.
Yeah,
man. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, brother.
Yeah,
thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
This is the Team Never Quit podcast. So buckle up, Buttercup.